So, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think Minecraft might have a Mojang problem, and just hang on a second before you click off. Before we get into this video, I just want to say right off the bat, I love Mojang and Minecraft. I mean, I've been playing this game since 2011. I visited Temple of Redacted when it came out. Aren't you a racist? I didn't mean it! I remember watching Revenge on the bus ride home and arguing with my friend about our Angry Birds silly bands. And you know what, Matt? I did steal the yellow one. You stupid bitch. And I'm not saying that from a, man, I miss the glory days perspective, but to show that when I say Minecraft has a Mojang problem, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm just trying to see some problems addressed and hopefully improved. Because as someone who's been around for this long, I've seen the quality and scope of these updates change dramatically over the past 10 years. Yikes. And before you even say it, I get it. Minecraft's the best-selling game of all time. They already won. They don't need to do anything extra. But when your game is literally the pinnacle of creativity unleashed, it kind of feels weird to leave a lot of potential on the table. And quite frankly, Mojang's gotten itself in a lot of hot lava recently for some very good reasons. And I think after watching this video, you might see some more. Whether it's all the drama this past year surrounding the mob votes, chat reporting, and some incredibly poor communication, to just generally lackluster updates, you can see why it's so easy for fans of Minecraft to feel a little uneasy. So today I want to deep dive into not only one of my favorite games, but also the studio behind it to try to figure out why so many people are starting to say Mojang sucks. So to get into it, all this really starts with the Wild update, which really was more mild than anything else. It was effectively a Caves and Cliffs Part 3 with frogs thrown in for some reason. Look at a little sassy walk. I think the year-long wait time between this and the last update, as well as it being nearly 3 years since the biome vote, Mojang really had people expecting a, well, Wild update, not just the Warden in a swamp revamp. And it's really here that you start seeing a lot of people notice just how meh a lot of Minecraft updates have been. Not only do they take a while to come out, but take really cool ideas and community suggestions and just water them down for the sake of simplicity. And you can see exactly what I mean when you take a look at all of the updates post Microsoft purchase, because, well, Big Daddy Build changed the game's focus pretty clearly. The game went from relatively small but consistent updates that always built off the last added feature to, well, this. Updates take longer to come out and have a larger scope, but because they're trying to keep the game as simple as possible, really undermine a lot of the issues they try to fix. What's this? Community suggestions? I'm just dying to know what's inside. When the repair system with anvils was getting really expensive, let's just throw mending in there so players really never have to touch an anvil again after their first good pick. People are having trouble getting around, well, let's just add an elytra so people never have to use rails, horses, and striders again. Oh, enchanting is a bit too random and players want to be able to consistently get upgrades? Well, let's overhaul the villager trading. I'm sure players would love to visit these villages and really help out their economy. Oh my god, we made slavery. Give me mending or give me death. I've noticed that more often than not, when Mojang sees an issue that players are having, they go completely overboard in what they do to fix it and undermines the system before it. And then some of the new features they add just scream wasted potential. Whether that's because they're too trivial to get for their very limited uses like tridents or conduits, because I know for a fact you have never made this, or there are features that are straight up ignorable because of how useless they are in the game, and there's no clearer example than this than copper. I mean, think of the missed opportunity here of having an entirely new ore that spawns en masse. It's really the perfect solution to so many of Minecraft's issues, because copper in real life is so useful. It could have so many special case uses with redstone like quartz. It could finally provide an update to the minecart system and make them actually viable to use again. They established they conduct electricity, so what if you could charge a sword if you're struck by lightning? The possibilities are endless, but you guys don't really want that, do you? You want waxed, lightly weathered copper stairs, waxed, weathered, lightly coppered stairs, white, wax, blah, blah, blah. And all of that's not even addressing the fact that as they add more and more items, there's an increasingly bad inventory bloat going on that only gets worse and worse as you add special case items that really only have one use. Like, I am so glad they added glow squids, so now we can finally have an item that you could put on a sign that makes it glow. There was really nothing like this in the game ever. And now that I think about it, the mob vote's really the perfect example of how Mojang has gotten a little wonky over the years. Now, I more than most am able to recognize that above everything else, the mob vote isn't something to give a feature, it's really an advertisement. They want fans in an uproar and debating each individual mob because, well, it gets you talking about the update. But when the choices end up being between 3 mobs that ultimately add nothing to the game, it kind of just feels pointless. As much as people hate the sky rats that are the phantoms, at least they incorporated them with the update they came out with, and the item they drop genuinely helps you. Oh, Right, they added mending. You really are just annoying, aren't you? Even mobs that they add to the base game are really contrived and often useless because Mojang has some really weird rules around what they do with mobs in the first place. It's pretty over discussed now, but they removed fireflies because frogs would eat them, but frogs can sometimes die when they eat fireflies and they don't want kids thinking to feed frogs fireflies. And they really want to stay away from adding real-world mobs like sharks or crocodiles or anything else like that that are endangered because, well, that's a bad message to the kids. Nothing wrong here though. As much as I agree and get with the positive environmental feel, we are aware it's just a game, right guys? Like, your primary fuel source is coal and your entire goal is to rip the earth of its resources. And you do know how you get turtle scoots, right? The item only drops when a turtle grows up, so you have to mass farm them. And then when they start lagging your game, there's only one solution. At least I can breathe underwater. We're not exactly starting on a positive environmental message in the first place, so why limit the gameplay features based on that idea? Not only does the entire inclusion of polar bears and panda bears completely undermine that stance, but the fact that they add nothing to the game in the first place just feels kind of pointless, especially when there are other real-life mobs that add really fun and interesting features like the dolphin. Not only do they make you swim faster, but they add life to the ocean and interact with items in some pretty fun ways. So why not add more real-life mobs that have features that are helpful and players won't kill them most of the time? To put it simply, instead of having your environmental message take features out of the game, use it to add more and in creative ways. And going back to the mob vote, the biggest issue on top of the fact that the mobs end up being more or less useless is that literally one day after the announcement of all 3 mobs, you'll end up seeing people putting them in the game with their full list of features. It feels really weird to have to pick from the 3 when I can see them right there. And I know we're all tired of this argument, and it's not exactly a fair comparison to compare a modder to a developer at Mojang. But at the end of the day, the impact the modding scenes had on the game is undeniable. I mean, people forget about this, but pistons were a mod. Horses were a mod. The entire idea of the end dimension is based off the Aether, which still breaks my heart.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
When you think about it, some of Minecraft's best features are all community made, so wouldn't it make more sense to vote on features added to the game instead of random mobs? Please add the girlfriend mod, please add the girlfriend mod, please, 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 please. All it takes is one Google search to see that there's plenty of really unique and exciting things to take inspiration from, but not only that, act as proof of concepts for updates that Mojang could add themselves. Why experiment with snapshots when you know that adding crocodiles and stuff like that works because people love it in Alex mobs? And I think the worst part is taking a peek at the Minecraft marketplace where all of this creativity is there, but for a price. Did you know that just for $9.99, or 1/3 the price of the entire game, you can see some of the most creative and incredible parts of Minecraft you will ever see? Well, you can, and it hurts me so much. When I tell you that my jaw hit the floor watching some of these Minecraft Marketplace trailers, I really mean it. Now, I 100% get that all of these projects wouldn't be possible without the tools that Mojang has given players to create incredible map packs. But when I see more creativity and cool features put into the Minecraft crossover with Batman than any of the past updates in the past 10 years, well, it feels kinda he's riding a dragon. He's riding a that's a turret a player's riding. Are those animals? Jesus Christ. Who are these people? Where's this Mojang been? Even better question. If Mojang's able to create the tools to make projects like these easier than ever, why aren't they using them themselves? There are creators on the marketplace like Cyclone putting out absolute bangers, providing quality of life changes and incredibly creative features that most recent Minecraft updates have simply lacked. Where Mojang's played it incredibly safe in the features they add, modders have been able to add some not only incredible creations, but also some incredibly obvious quality of life changes. Mods like Optifine make the increasingly unoptimized game run smoother. Others add no-brainer ideas like providing uses for copper, or pick up the slack on features Mojang's forgotten, like the anvil system. Even taking a look at some of the official Minecraft spin-off projects like Dungeons and Earth, there are so many examples of creative mobs, tools, environments that are seen nowhere in the base game. If we're really trying to do advertising like the mob vote, why don't Minecraft Dungeons updates cross over into the base game and add some cool features? It not only promotes Minecraft Dungeons, but it adds more to the base game and makes them feel feel like they're from the same product. I'm not saying overcomplicate Minecraft and fill it with random stuff, but Minecraft is supposed to be simple to pick up, but complex to get into. Building can be as simple as placing a few blocks for your first hut, and the next day you end up with the Taj Mahal. Redstone's as easy as turning on a light, or as complex as building an entire calculator in-game, you nerd. I think it's here that Mojang's keep it simple rule has gotten in the way of the true beauty and genius of Minecraft. It gives you simple tools and lets you do the most complex of things. And it's here that I really see a lot of people label Mojang as lazy, or say things like Mojang sucks. And do I agree with that? No. With every update over the past year, they've completely revamped the system they're working on from scratch. They're not just updating how caves generate or how the ocean loads, they're completely remaking it. Every update takes over a year to come out because they're literally starting from nothing and building it all over again. And while I think that's many things, I don't think lazy is one of them. I mean, just think of how absurd it is that Minecraft runs really well across every device on the planet. It's honestly insane, but it's also undeniable that Mojang has gotten pretty lost in the sauce on their own updates and is seemingly lacking a lot of creative direction. From introducing a tool better than Diamond, new terrain generation that fundamentally changes how you play the game, it's clear that Mojang is ready to take big swings at the Minecraft status quo, but they're going about it all the wrong ways. I think the magic of the previous updates is that they were smaller in scope, but added interesting and often surprisingly deep mechanics like enchanting, redstone, and even dungeons to explore that haven't received any love in years. New mobs and ores are added, but really amount to nothing but being something pretty to look at, and adding more and more features that are really cool when they're new, but ultimately add nothing of substance to the game. Well, you end up with a lot of feelings of wasted potential. When people say Mojang sucks, it's not because they're a lazy developer or even a bad one. It's just that Mojang sucks at adding new features. But I also think it leads to a very important takeaway that no one really talks about anymore. And it's the #1 thing that's kept Minecraft alive all these years despite these updates. The community. When Minecraft started to go on the relative decline, it wasn't Mojang's updates that did anything to bring it back to popularity, it was PewDiePie's Minecraft series, Dream's Manhunt videos, and Technoblade's Skyblock degeneracy. It had nothing to do with really anything Mojang contributed feature-wise in those years because Minecraft as itself is already the perfect sandbox. If Mojang just abandoned it in 2015, I think Minecraft would still be at the same popularity it is now because its success has never been tied to the updates, the company behind it, or even Microsoft. It's always been us. And I think if I could choose for you to take one thing away from this video, it's that community that's worth celebrating. Thanks for watching.